All right, today we're diving deep, and I mean literally deep, into one of the most mysterious and exciting frontiers in science, the world of marine fungi. Now, we're not talking about the mushrooms in your backyard. Oh no. These are microscopic powerhouses, hidden in the deepest parts of the ocean, and they might just hold the keys to solving some of our planet's biggest, most stubborn problems.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Our biggest challenges, pollution, disease, unsustainable industries, what if the answers have been hiding all along, in the darkest, most extreme environments on Earth? Well, that is exactly the question we are going to explore.
So let's start by setting the scene. If you picture the deep ocean floor as this vast, barren, lifeless desert, you wouldn't be the only one. For the longest time, that's pretty much what most scientists thought too. But it turns out, recent discoveries are painting a completely different picture.
Far from being empty, the layers of sediment, deep beneath the ocean floor, are actually home to this surprisingly rich and complex fungal kingdom. It's a huge, hidden biosphere just teeming with life where we honestly least expected to find it.
And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, scientists have managed to culture living fungi from samples taken over 1,800 meters, that's more than a mile, below the seafloor itself. This isn't just surviving, okay? This is actively thriving in one of the most hostile environments you can possibly imagine.
So, the big question is, how on Earth do they do it? What allows these tiny organisms to thrive under those conditions? Well, to put it simply, if you're going to live in the abyss, you have to become a master of survival. The conditions down there are just absolutely brutal. We're talking crushing bone-deep hydrostatic pressure. We're talking about super high salinity, near total starvation, with almost no nutrients, and temperatures that can swing wildly. It's a combination of challenges that would be completely lethal to almost any other form of life.
And there's a word for this kind of organism, an extremophile. It's an organism that thrives in conditions that would kill just about everything else. These are the elite survivors of the natural world. And marine fungi, they're some of the most impressive examples we have ever found.
And here's the key takeaway, the real heart of the matter. All of that intense pressure from the environment, it forced an incredible evolutionary adaptation. To survive, to defend themselves, to communicate in the dark, these fungi had to develop a unique and powerful biochemical arsenal. They became master chemists, basically out of sheer necessity.
Okay, and this is where it gets really exciting, because scientists are now figuring out how to bring these organisms up from the deep sea and into the lab, so we can finally start to study these chemical superpowers that let them survive.
The whole process is just fascinating. It all starts with collecting these core samples of deep-sea sediment. Then, back in the lab, scientists have to perfectly replicate those insane high-pressure conditions to even get the fungi to grow. From there, it's this deep dive into their genetics and their chemistry to see what kind of unique molecules they're making. And the treasures they're finding are called bioactive compounds. You can think of these as the source of the fungal superpowers. They're the chemical tools the fungi use to fight off competitors and thrive in the dark. And it turns out these tools can be incredibly useful for us too.
And look, this isn't just me hyping it up. Researchers in the field say it plainly. The deep subsea floor is an untapped reservoir of useful biomolecules. That quote really just perfectly captures the massive potential here. The deep sea is a biological treasure chest, and we've really only just found the key.
So this is where all that deep sea science starts to turn into real-world applications. We are on the verge of what you could call a fungal gold rush, with these amazing organisms offering solutions to some of our most pressing global issues. First up, pollution. Our environment is contaminated with everything from oil spills to heavy metals, and cleaning it up is a monumental, almost impossible task. But what if nature already has its own cleanup crew? Well, it turns out that certain types of marine fungi are basically bioremediation superstars. You've got some that can break down, literally eat complex and toxic hydrocarbons, like the kind you find in oil spills. Then you have others that can tolerate and even absorb dangerous heavy metals, effectively pulling them right out of the environment. Okay, next, let's talk about human health. We are in a constant, high-stakes race to find new and more effective medicines to fight everything from cancer to drug-resistant bacteria. The search for new compounds is absolutely critical.
Well, the deep sea is proving to be a massive, unexplored pharmacy. The bioactive compounds made by these fungi are showing incredible promise. Studies have already identified compounds that have anti-cancer, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and even neuroprotective properties. It's amazing.
And get this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. A drug called plinabulin, which was derived from a marine fungus, has already reached phase 3 clinical trials. That's the final stage before approval for treating cancer. This is happening right now.
And finally, let's look at our industries. So many of our industrial processes rely on harsh chemicals and energy-guzzling methods that are just not sustainable for the long haul. We desperately need greener alternatives.
And here too, marine fungi are offering a solution. They produce these highly efficient enzymes that can power cleaner, more sustainable industrial processes. We're already seeing applications in everything from biofuel production and paper processing to textiles, animal feed, and even cosmetics. Now, as incredible as all of this sounds, it is so important to remember that we are standing at the very, very beginning of a vast, uncharted frontier. The journey of discovery has really only just begun.
I mean, you have to understand, researchers believe that the fungal diversity we've managed to bring into the lab and study so far, it represents just a tiny, tiny fraction of what's actually down there. The vast majority of species, and all the unique chemical secrets they hold, they remain completely unknown to us.
And so, that leaves us with this one huge, tantalizing question. As our technology gets better and allows us to explore even deeper, what other solutions, what other cures, what other incredible secrets are just waiting for us in the dark? The possibilities? Well, they're as vast and as deep as the ocean itself.